Welcome to the Helicopter Podcast, your go-to source for all things rotorcraft. I'm Halsey Scheider, bringing you the stories, insights, and conversations from around the helicopter industry. Whether you're a seasoned pilot, a maintainer, or you're just passionate about helicopters, this is the podcast for you.
That first day, we're just putting the line on so they just see what they're up against. Put that long line on there and everything's going.
That's when the tears start coming out.
That's when
Life
they
decisions.
We have it all the time, especially high-time pilots that are doing this for the first time.
Yeah.
They're like, why can't I do this? All of a sudden, I can't fly a helicopter
What's
anymore.
the consistent holdup?
Their own ego. It's the ego because they don't want to listen to what he's saying in the beginning because they think that they got it.
Yeah, well, they've flown. They're good at whatever they do.
Yeah.
So I've been doing this for 10 years and I've got this many hours and I know all about it. And then all of a sudden, it's a smack to the ego. They come in and that first lesson, they can't even hover a helicopter anymore looking out and down. And then put the line on and they're just like, what the heck?
This episode of the Helicopter Podcast is made possible with the generous sponsorship from Precision Aviation Group, Robinson Helicopters and Helicopter Institute.
What's going on, guys? It's Halsey Scheider, and I'm coming at you with another European Rotors 2025 podcast edition. We are podcasting right from the floor here in Cologne, Germany. These are going to kind of be intermixed throughout the entire year.
Okay.
But I like to kind of try to encapsulate and remember where I was. So this is my last podcast of the show. Best for last, right?
Nice.
And I think you guys are maybe number 13.
Wow. Lucky 13?
Yeah, maybe 14. Yeah. I don't know. It's been a lot. My voice is starting to hurt. But I have Kimberly and Andre Hutchings joining from Volo Mission. Guys, thank you so much for taking the time and coming to chat with me. How's it going?
Yeah, good.
Good. Yeah,
good.
going
Thanks
well.
for having us.
Yeah, of course.
Love the podcast.
It's a good time. Appreciate that. I got to know Kim a little bit through our last podcast. We're even doing some work together now on the executive coaching side. She knows where all the bodies are buried now. She's sitting here right now like, this guy's crazy. But we're having a good time. And I think it's actually really cool. I think that learning more about you two and what you guys do together to not only make proficient external load pilots, but also kind of help them in other aspects, right? With leadership and right mentality and all those things. So really kind of putting both of your skills together to create a really unique mission there at Volo Mission. And by the way, thank you for the hat.
Looks good.
I'm rocking the Volo Mission hat. No one else has brought me any, actually the Climb Higher.
Okay.
That was brought to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it was really given to me. I just kind of took it. So I appreciate you guys. So Andre, I'm going to start with you. Kim, you've been on the podcast.
Yes.
I want to hear a little bit more about Andre, your history. When did you get into helicopters? How did you get into helicopters? And then we would, of course, get into external load. Yeah,
you bet, mate. I started out in Australia. I was always interested in helicopters. We lived near an army base. So I'd be flying around our house and that type of thing. And I thought, that'll be a cool thing to do, right? Kind of put the hook in me. Didn't do any flying in Australia till I came over to America at 21. Had a buddy of mine said, hey, man, guess what I just did on the weekend? I'm like, oh, and he goes, I just flew a helicopter. Go, how do you do that? He goes, I just took a lesson. He goes, you just go down there and do it. Just go down there. They give you a demo flight. So jumped in the car right away, went down there, started doing that,
And this is in Australia?
This was actually in the States. I came over to America at 21 and hadn't flown in Oz at that point. And then went back eventually after I did CFI and commercial and all that good stuff. Flew some Robinsons for a police department down there after the riots in LA.
Oh,
so I did that for a couple of years. That was cool with Bob Muse.
Oh, good old Bob. You all know Bob. Of course
Bob,
you know Bob.
Yeah.
I actually just met Bob in person for the very first time.
Okay.
I've talked to Bob like a million times on the phone.
Yeah.
And him and his lovely wife were visiting Oregon, and they made the trek all the way over to Bend to come say hi. We had a wonderful lunch.
Awesome.
Nice.
And shared a lot of good stories. And man, that guy can't sit still. I mean, he's been he was in Nepal. He's just been all over the place.
Right
Japan.
Yeah.
Man, Bob's living the good life.
Yeah.
He does well.
I got to do a little bit more of what Bob's doing, man. Jeez.
Tell us about it.
Well, we're working too hard, Andre.
Tell me about it, man. So, spent a bit of time with Bobby. We worked for a place called US Helicopters out of Long Beach. Then ended up going to Columbia Helicopters after a few years of flying the police there. And You start off as a co-pilot back in those days. Then you'd go into like a 500 support ship. So co-pilot in a 107.
Very cool.
The CH-46 civilian variant, or the BV-234, the Chinook, so CH-47 civilian version of that. And then kind of move from there. So get into a light ship, so you're supporting the heavies, flying in logging chokers, flying the loggers and the cutters around, that type of thing. And then when they see fit, you would move into the 107 initially, and then spend a few years in the 107, and eventually the goal of getting into a Chinook. So,
yeah, really cool. Fun fact about Columbia. I think I mentioned it on the podcast before, but it's been a bit. Columbia Helicopters is actually a company that very much inspired me to fly helicopters. I grew up just miles away from Columbia.
Okay.
Yeah, I grew up in Lake Oswego, which is pretty close to Aurora. And there's a pumpkin patch. If this is Columbia, there's like a pumpkin patch right over here. And when I was a little kid, we would go to this pumpkin patch, and we would drive by, and you see all the big helicopters sitting out.
Down the ramp.
If you were lucky, sometimes you see them hovering.
Yeah.
Right? And that was like this, mind-blown situation.
Awesome. Yeah.
And then actually at that same pumpkin patch, they had an R-44 one time. And my parents didn't want to put me in it. They were scared. So I didn't get the ride. But between the Columbia there and then seeing the helicopter, it was kind of like that's interesting.
Yeah.
So I think I owe a little bit of that.
Right on.
Misfortune. No, I'm kidding. The fortune of being in the helicopter industry in Columbia.
Yeah. No, it's good. It was a great company to work for. The family were back in it then, so I met all the family, and they were just great people to work for.
Yeah, I mean,
really
Columbia
awesome
Helicopters, talk about like a legacy company. I mean, there's not that many companies that have, withstood the time, the test of time, as they say. And in fact, actually, Roy Knaus, who I know that you guys do some work with, CEO of Heli Austria, he was on the podcast. I forget how many years, but I think he said over 40 years they've been running that business.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting. I'm always very much impressed by anyone that can sustain a business, even just for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Wow, exactly. You paid your taxes and you've made some money. Like, that's wild. Congratulations.
Especially in this industry.
From the operator side, especially. So really impressive. So you're at Columbia. What is that time frame? Like, how long from, say, SIC to then support, then getting into a command position?
Yeah, back in those days, it was a little bit longer than it became. Because there was a lot of old school guys in there, and they weren't leaving anytime soon. So it was SIC, I think, a year and a half, something like that, and then got into a 500. It was good. They had jobs like Peru and this type of thing. We were doing 28 days on, 28 days off, working in Alaska. So the time went pretty quick. Then a 500, I think I did 500 for 3 years back in those days. Yeah.
And that's fun.
Yeah, it's great. And that's where you learn the long line. You're taking out the chokers to the loggers. So you're putting on a 200-foot steel long line.
Wow.
And just going for it. So that was good. Give you a helicopter, pickup truck with a cargo trailer on the back, and go, this is where you need to be.
Set you loose.
Yeah, exactly. And they had some long ranges back then as well. So that was cool.
And when do you guys come together?
Sometimes we pass each other on our road, going one direction.
Well, but from the beginning, when did you guys meet in this whole story?
I arranged a helicopter ride for my sister's bachelorette party.
Nice
Always
play.
wanted to be a
Good
pilot.
play.
Yeah, and so helicopters wanted to do that. Was a surprise, and then loved it, obviously, instantly. And I was going to school, finishing up my bachelor's degree at USC, so I was downtown LA.
Oh, you're a Trojan? Ooh,
I am.
I don't know.
Fight on.
I don't know if I knew that. That changes things.
You're off. Yeah.
Go Ducks.
And so I just called her up and said, hey, I want to go do this. Get my pilot's license, hopefully, fly around, become a CFI, and emailed a bunch of schools, and Los Angeles Helicopters was one of the replies. And so went down there, spent the summer getting my private license, went back, finished my last semester at USC. And then it all evolved from there. Yeah.
And that's where you met Andre?
Yeah, he was obviously he was one of the owners. I had my CFI. He was a brand new CFI. And so Andre and a couple others that were there at LA Helicopters would give us our checkouts at different stage checks and that sort of thing. So the CFI would come in and say, you got to fly with Andre today. And I'm like, no, I don't want to fly with Andre.
She didn't like me back in those days, man. I don't know what the story was.
Well, yeah. What was he kind of a jerk or what?
He's a little bit arrogant.
What? This guy?
No.
I don't believe
Yeah,
that.
I was just
outta
like,
here.
nah.
I don't believe
Get
that one
outta
bit.
here. It's a young pilot, yeah.
Yeah, a
Arrogant?
young helicopter
Jeez.
pilot being
Yeah.
arrogant? No way.
Not me.
I liked my safe CFI
Yeah.
that, went through ground school and taught me everything. And then they would come in. I'm like, no.
It was always scary. I remember going
Yeah.
through flight school, and I went to Hillsborough, a relatively large flight school.
Yeah.
And as a student, you kind of start navigating like, oh, I don't really want to fly with that guy. That guy's
Exactly.
kind of safe. And if I get a stage check, I definitely don't want to fly with that
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
It's actually funny. One of my flight instructors, I'm not going to say his name, nicest guy ever on the ground. Horrible in the helicopter. He's so mean. I mean, I've never been so berated.
Just punish you.
And I picked this guy because he's so nice. He was like so friendly on the ground. And then like in the air, it was like Jekyll Hyde. And so I had to make a switch. I was like, man, this guy is really mean in the helicopter, but
Man, you work for it.
that's how it goes. So I didn't realize that you ended up having your CFI and doing
I didn't
all
get my
Oh,
CFI
you
yet.
didn't get
No.
your CFI.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you licensed helicopter
Yep.
pilot. You connected with this guy. When was the moment that you actually ended up liking him?
Thank you to our sponsor, Robinson Helicopter Company, the choice for unrivaled safety and reliability so you can accomplish any mission with confidence. For more than half a century, Robinson has been at the forefront of the helicopter industry. From the R-22 to the R-66 turbine, Robinson makes helicopters accessible so more people can accomplish more missions. Climb higher. For additional information, visit www.robinsonheli.com.
Probably
A
still
long
not.
time later, yeah. Well and truly
Yeah.
after I was done with my training, and there wasn't that he's getting in the helicopter with me kind of thing. So, yeah.
What still happens with Kim's flying a bit of long line. She's done probably half the course so
Yeah.
far. Never has time to finish it, but so we get in the cockpit together, and it seems like it's still the same when we're flying on a long line course.
Except now this time I can tell him, stop talking to me like
yeah.
that.
Yeah, you have a little bit of
Yeah.
power now.
Yeah.
How long have you guys been married?
13 years.
13 years. Wow.
Yep. So,
That's a long time.
yep.
That's a very long time. I got, I think Hillary and I should know this, 2020. Okay, it's easy. 5 years.
Yeah. Okay.
But we've
you
been
go.
together, I think, for like 12. So it's been a minute.
know.
All right. So you guys you're working at Columbia. How long was that total time there at Columbia?
27 years. at
27
Columbia.
years.
Yeah.
My
We had
goodness.
LA helicopters during that time. Had LA helicopters since 2000, I
Wow.
think. It was in Long Beach, California. Just on breaks, going back there and
So
working on that.
you were flying full time and running a business?
Yeah, I had a couple of partners, and you know Gil Mallet from Robinson back
Yeah,
there?
of course.
Gil was one of our
Yeah,
business
G.
partners.
Yeah.
G. Yep.
Oh yeah, did I tell him my funny G story? I think I might have told Kim, but when I went to the safety course, he kept saying Ivor, and I said Ivor? Ivor's here? Ivor's here? Where's Ivor? He said Ivor, and then I realized he was saying however.
Oh,
Ivor?
G. Yeah.
G.
Yep. So he was
He
a
was
business
my
partner.
instructor, too.
Yeah. Kimmy's
Yeah,
instructor.
it's kind of cool. I got to go. Robinson sent me to their 66 course like 2 years ago.
Yeah,
and
right on.
G was the instructor for the course, and
Yep.
had a really good time.
Yep.
So he was helping you run.
Yeah, he was one of the business partners of LA Helicopters, and we had a maintenance guy as well. He was our partner. So
And was LA Helicopters? What was the mission there?
it was training, doing all the LA stuff.
Yeah.
You know, movies and doing tours and
Yeah.
ads and Catalina runs and all that kind of thing. So
Is that company still around?
no, I think 2000.
2019, I think,
Yeah.
is when it.
Yep.
And you guys were out of it by
We were out of it.
2019?
Yeah, we went. We got out, and then took the long line portion of it,
Mhm.
moved out to Texas, and started running just the long line portion of it.
So you're 27 years, Columbia, become a what I've heard, very good long line pilot, obviously.
Thanks.
But hear
hope
it a
so.
lot, that you're like the guy.
You would hope so. After doing
I am
it.
I am not the guy. I have like 5 hours and I'm
Okay.
horrible.
Right on.
But maybe I can come down. You
Yeah.
know?
Please, man, come on
Do
out.
a little vertical
Yeah.
reference.
Yeah.
My problem is that what I was learning, it wasn't with my significant other, but it was with my very German boss. And his name was Marcus Grudke. He's an awesome guy, actually. Marcus, if you're listening, I love this guy. But, German, they're a little bit more authoritative. And, we're trying to trying to teach me long line. He's getting all pissed off at me. Finally, he's like, you know what? I'm just getting out. I'm like, get out,
Yeah.
And he got out, and I actually did better. Once he was out, I was like, okay, I'm kind of figuring this out. But it's very external load to me. It's been a while. We're going back, 12 years probably.
Yeah.
But I remember I was at a time when I felt very proficient. I was a CFI instructor. I was doing full downs every single day. I was thinking pretty highly of myself as a pilot, actually. Like, man, this kid can fly, And then you put a line under the helicopter, and you're like, well, what the hell? That is so difficult. And so I never got to a point where I felt comfortable or proficient. Maybe someday I can come play a little bit with the line under the helicopter. So you had LA Helicopters. You had an existing kind of long line course? No,
we didn't. So we through Columbia, there's a lot of different aspects or different sectors or jobs, let's say, within Columbia as far as firefighting, logging, construction, all this type of thing. So the way the training went, it was typically the guy that was training the next pilot in the 500 was the guy that was going to get promoted to a bigger helicopter, more pay, better break schedule. So I was like, hurry up, man.
Yeah.
There's get in there and start swinging that line.
Yeah, of course.
So as we got into LA Helicopters, opened that and started teaching people and thought, I think there's probably a more formal way of teaching long line than that, right? So it was all in-house training most of the time with the companies. There was one company out in California that was doing it, gentleman there out at Rialto. But so we just thought we'll put this together and see if we could formalize it a bit more and just, start putting it out there. So we started off training a lot of Columbia pilots and pilots from different companies.
It's kind of funny to hear, that's just like the industry of like this idea of like, well, just go do it, on the job training. Right? Yeah, essentially. And, in some aspects, I'm guessing there's effectiveness there, but also it can't be that safe, right? I mean, that's not a really effective, safe way.
Yeah, so you talk about safe as far as on the job training, or
I mean, like if you don't really have a formal or standard training process.
Yeah, they had a training process there. It was just that it's with most companies and that too, the training gets you have jobs go on and all that kind of stuff too, right?
Sure.
So it's not all, you can't always get to the training when
100%.
Hey, we're going to train with you on this day, and then the ship gets taken on a revenue job or something, or the chief pilot was going to train you guys. But I mean, there's a lot of, they're all Top Gun long line pilots in that company, so the ones that were putting some hours on you were pretty good. And then for the 500 guys, we were swapping out, just training the next 500 guy up so we could jump in the.
What in 27 years at Columbia, what's your most memorable experience?
Afghanistan. We got a contract in Afghanistan for 10 years, so. That was probably the most memorable for me. Was I was a country manager over there, so I ran that. We had 12 aircraft in the end, 200 people. So just the environment we're in and everything that we got to see and all the experiences cool. over there. It was pretty cool.
It's very intense, right?
Yeah, it was intense, but it was just a really interesting.
I mean, I think you guys would get shot at and lots of crazy things, right?
Got quite a few rounds over the years, and a couple of guys got wounded.
Really?
In the aircraft and that kind of thing. But
so how much time have you spent in Afghanistan then? Many
Yeah, I mean,
months.
we're doing 1 month on, 1 month off. So, and I was doing a few more because I was running it. So it was over 8 years in country and then 2 years as a director for the company.
That's crazy.
But great company, man.
So when did you officially start Volo?
We started Volo about 9 years ago. She'd be better on the dates. Kim will know more about that. But about 8 or 9 years ago, and we're out in California with the long line course. Couldn't really do much in California as far as dipping a bucket in a water source and that type of thing.
Sure,
you're going to spread bacteria or the Walking Dead or whatever.
Yeah,
so,
of course.
But in Texas, we had some friends out in Texas, so we were visiting them. So we started looking around at property pricing and all that kind of thing and how we could expand our course. We were leasing the ground that we were flying over pretty much in California. So it wasn't ours. So came out to Texas and...
you good, Kim?
Yeah, I think he sabotaged me before we got here. I'm just kidding. He's like, don't let her say anything about me. He didn't like the arrogant comment.
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
I imagine
well, glad you're okay.
Sorry.
Yep, rebranded to Volo, and then bought a property out there, went driving around Texas and looking for a property, and just grabbed a list off a realtor and drove around and picked up a property out there that we could expand on and continue to expand on it since then. And it's a work in progress the whole time, Volo. We're always adding new exercises and trying to keep it, at the forefront. A lot of good things have come in over the last couple of years.
And where in Texas again is it?
Just outside of Dallas.
Okay, so
just near Greenville. Northeast of Dallas.
Yeah, northeast.
75 miles.
Yeah,
so.
I love Texas. Texas is a great state.
Yeah, Texas, cool.
And you have some easier liberties in Texas compared to, say, California or Oregon.
Neighbors are good.
Neighbors are the best there,
part, So
yeah, the people of Texas are the best people.
Yeah.
Southern hospitality is a real thing.
It is.
Where did you grow up, Kim?
Southern California.
You grew up in SoCal.
Yeah.
And you grew up in Australia.
Yeah. Yep.
And I grew up in Oregon. I didn't really know what Southern hospitality was until we moved to Texas. And you truly find what that means. It's these people are fantastic neighbors. They really take care of you.
Yep.
A really cool spot. So, Kim, jump in here a little bit before we kind of talk more of the particulars of external load, Volo mission. Just remind us again kind of your role in Volo.
Thanks to our sponsor, Helicopter Institute. Expert instructors, mission-ready training, and unmatched industry experience come together to shape safer, stronger pilots. From fundamental skills to advanced programs, we help you fly with purpose, train with confidence, train beyond the factory.
Aside from all the business side of everything, I bring in that human performance element. So it's also helped change the way that Andre does some of his training too. Just thinking more on how people are, their behavior, how the brain works, not task overloading them when they're doing their training, that sort of thing. We've had plenty of discussions about that. So, that's some of the things that have evolved and from when he initially started doing the training.
For sure.
We even look at things like weather, all those factors that come into having a conducive learning environment, even though we're in the elements. So we've, put that in there. We look very holistically at not just the technical skill of flying the line in the helicopter, but what's going on with the person, different factors that are affecting that. Even when we have international students, we'll start it a little bit later, just looking at all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, it is interesting. I mean, that plays into a huge part of it.
It does.
If you're not in a position to learn, then you can't learn, right? For me, I struggle with wanting to do things very quickly, right? Like, I feel like I should just be good at everything.
Yeah.
And that's probably an arrogant thought. But I've in the past, I've had some luck where I pick something up quickly.
Yep.
And then if I go and do something like golf that I'll never successfully pick up, it drives me nuts, right? Yeah. To the point where I can't even learn how to play golf because I just get pissed off too quickly trying to learn how to play golf. And so I've seen that so many times in the cockpit with my students where as a flight instructor, you had to recognize where they were at, right?
Yeah.
And you had to be, willing to call it early even. I had students sometimes that were just kind of, the bad just kind of kept compounding on the bad. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? Today is not the right day, right? And I often find, too, even when I was learning how to fly, probably the case with external load, too, where if it's your first time doing something or it's your first time flying a new aircraft, that first time feels awkward, very uncomfortable, and you're bad. And you're like, oh, shoot, I'm never going to be able to be good at this.
Yeah.
And then you sleep. And I don't know what happens when you're sleeping, but you subconsciously think about it. And then the next day you do so much better, already just that one day of progress. Yeah. So, it's interesting. That's an interesting side of flying. And I don't think it just applies to the learning environment. I think that there's obviously, I think we talked on our podcast, there's so many areas within aviation where we neglect this idea of, mental state, mental health, and really understanding how that plays. It's a huge thing.
Yeah.
And I look at it with, say, like air medical. I mean, you're almost in a position where you're going to mentally health fail. I mean, you're working weird hours, you're eating at weird times, you're not exercising. There's all these compounding factors. So many helicopter missions, really have a not always great and conducive for mental health. So
Yeah.
I think it's cool that you're doing that and you're kind of bringing it into aviation and business as well.
Yeah.
I can personally speak, Kim and I have been working together, and it's been really nice. It's been nice to have someone to talk to about life things, about business things, kind of putting it all together, because we can all use that a little bit, right? So
Yeah.
I think that's kind of a cool aspect of your guys' training. I think I asked Kim this when I podcast it, but you guys have been around for 9 years. It's not that long, actually. And you guys have this incredible reputation. Long before I knew you guys, it was Volo Mission, Volo Mission, Volo Mission. I would always hear about you guys. And then usually in this industry, it's like you hear about something, and then there's like they kind of, there's something, right? And it was always Volo Mission. Andre and Kim are great. Andre has an incredible such a great reputation. What is it? I mean, what's the secret sauce of just, building this brand that people really seem to resonate with?
I think our big thing is we genuinely want to help people and help the industry. I mean, I went in, obviously started a career or an education path with psychology is to help people. Andre's the same way. If he didn't want to help people do better in the long line industry, then, that's where he started the long line course. So we genuinely want the best for people. And when people genuinely want the best for you,
it shows.
It shows because you actually want that. You're not trying to
You're wanting
pretend.
them to be successful. Yeah. It's not like I try to tell my sales team all the time, don't look at your clients as a dollar sign.
Yeah.
Treat them like humans, make friends. The money will come, right? If you do those right things, then the revenue comes, which of course is an important part of running a business. But I think it's really hard to maintain a good reputation, right? It's it takes constant work, and to be genuine, as you say. I believe that with you guys, which I think is quite cool. Andre, are you the sole instructor, or do you guys have other instructors?
We have other instructors that'll come in. Most right now, I'm doing most of the instructing. We've got we've got some Canadian guys and a couple of ex-Columbia guys, I'm doing it right now. And then if we get like an on-site job or something like that, then we'll go and do that and bring another instructor in to do the course out in Texas. So we do a lot of on-site training as well. Going to someone's
companies,
going to countries, that type of thing.
Cool. Yeah.
So we'll bring an instructor in then.
That's
For
awesome.
The most part, I'm doing it these days.
What, like I said, it's fun talking to Roy the other day. He actually emailed me after we talked, and he said that there's a helicopter company, I think in Austria, that has Scheider. It's called Scheider, I guess, and that's my last name.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That's cool.
Okay.
Because he was like, very Austrian last name. And I'm like, I don't know our ancestry, but maybe Austrian, I guess. But he was saying he sends folks to Volo Mission. So since we're at European Rotors, let's talk about that. When someone, say, from Heli Austria comes to you guys, what does that course look like? How long is it? What are some of the techniques you're working on? Just kind of give me that breakdown.
Sure. So in Europe, the system is HESLO. I don't know whether you're familiar with that, Rob. So it's a little bit more of a formal system. They start with a 20-meter line or under, so 50, 60-foot line or less, and they have to get a certain amount of hours, a certain amount of cycles. So their pilots come in, we give them 20 hours, 18 hours of long line.
It's a lot.
2 hours of firefighting there. So, and it's HESLO 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah.
We can cover them on the first two, HESLO 1 and 2.
Okay.
So it's, like I say, 50-foot line and then 100 or above foot line after that. So we just put them through the basics, take them all the way through to complex loads and through to construction loads, that type of thing. And then we'll put the fire bucket on them for the last 2 hours and take them through that. So about a 10-day course.
Wow.
So.
And how many pilots will come over at a time?
We'll put 2 on the course, 2 to 3. 2 is a good number. It just gives people a break in between.
Sure.
So Heli Austria people, they usually come over on their own, and then we'll just run them through with other pilots that are on the course already.
So you kind of run them through, and where are they staying? Do you guys have a place for them to stay?
Yeah, we have 2 houses on our property, and we've just gotten a third that we'll be remodeling. So we can house up to 10 people now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep. We run ground classes as well.
Yeah, that's
so
cool.
teaching ground crew and task specialists, that type of thing. So they come on, companies will send pilots and then they'll also send their ground crew out there with them so they can become a team and work the whole week, work the whole 10 days with them. And
we get some large ground crew courses that come through. They'll send 7 to 9 people. So
wow.
Now we're able to accommodate that completely out as far as accommodation on our property.
Man, very cool. Now, as far as European and the importance of the European helicopter market to you guys, do you guys have a lot of people come all the way across the pond to do training?
We do. We've had many European people come over. Either companies sending them or they'll come over as individuals and want to improve their skill. So,
yeah, with the fires increasing all around the world, right?
Yeah.
So we just met with a couple here this week that we're talking about sending people over. They just want to see how the HESLO works with an American company teaching them that type of thing. But
sure.
So we've been talking to them and just trying to increase the presence over here.
Has it been a successful show for you guys?
Yeah, we've made good contacts and always wanting to learn new things, especially, like I said, we're getting more international customers from Europe and wanting to help with the aerial firefighting side of things. So
I know that Europeans and Americans can be different. Is there a way that you approach a European student, say, versus an American student? I mean, I know that we're all human. We all have very similar learning tendencies, but there is a cultural difference between, say, Europe and United States or other countries. Is it all kind of the same, or is it kind of an evaluation of this individual and how you're working with that specific person?
A little bit of both, I think. Typically they're in with another person in the class. Majority of the time that's an American or non-European. I don't know. It's the personality comes out once we get a few hours on them and we see what they're like and how they handle it, and just that's with anybody. But
I think, too, the big thing is if they're coming over from another country, they've done a lot of research on us. They've talked to a lot of people. So they're very open and they want to be there. And I think that makes a difference maybe from some of the behavior and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Is if somebody's forcing them to go there and they're just like, forget you, I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
But most of the time when they get there, I'd say 95% of the time, if we've got an international person coming, they want to be there.
Yeah.
So they're very happy and listening and wanting to participate as much as they can.
Yeah.
How much ab initio vertical reference training do you do? Is it any beginners that have never done it before, or are you only taking people that have experience?
No, it's majority are ab initio.
Really?
Zero long line.
Wow. So walk me kind of through the game plan or the strategy of like taking someone. Is it 20 hours that course too? Or like, let's say I come in, I have zero time. Might as well. I mean, it was like 12 years ago, so I had zero time.
That's a good way of putting it too.
And yeah, right. I mean, I don't know the hell I'm doing.
Yeah.
What would it look like for me? How long would I be there? What would the flight schedule look like? Just kind of and the different ways of crawl, walk, run.
Yeah, it depends too on what the customer wants to do, right? So most of the companies will send them for a full course, like a commercial comprehensive course, we call it. So it's 0 to 18.
Okay.
Right. So we'll get them in, and then ground crew classes will be like 7:30 in the morning. We'll go out after that and then fly a lesson, whatever that lesson is, and kind of progress through the course like that. But vertical reference first. When I started doing it, and a lot of other people, majority of the folks back in those days, there was no get in the helicopter without a long line on to learn how to actually hang out the door and look down and still fly the helicopter with no horizons anymore, right? So that's the first lesson that all our customers go through, is learning just how to fly the helicopter vertical reference.
Yeah, you start doing this and things get weird.
Yeah, it gets weird, man. You have no horizon anymore, right? So you got this patch of ground here that you're looking at.
Yeah.
And it can get squirrely.
Yeah.
Right? So seating position we go through, then VR work. Then we'll start putting the line on. That first day, we're just putting the line on so they just see what they're up against more than anything, because it's such overwhelm at that point. Put that long line on there and everything's going crazy.
When the tears start coming out.
That's when
life decisions.
Well, we have it all the time, especially high-time pilots that are doing this for the first time.
Yeah.
They're like, why can't I do this?
Yeah.
I know how to do offshore. I know how to do police. I know how to do whatever. And all of a sudden I can't fly a helicopter
What's
anymore.
the consistent holdup?
Consistent hold up.
Their own ego.
Yeah, most of the time.
Honestly, it is because.
Excuse me.
Oh yeah, do it. Yeah. Start getting all pissed. Just don't choke.
Yeah.
I'm a little worried about you guys.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I know. It's the ego because they don't want to listen to what he's saying in the beginning because they think that they got it. Yeah.
Who are you?
Yeah, well, they've flown. They're good at whatever they do.
Yeah, of course.
So I've been doing this for 10 years, and I've got this many hours, and I know all about it. And all of a sudden, it's a smack to the ego. They come in, and that first lesson, they can't even hover a helicopter anymore, looking out and down. And then put the line on, and they're just like, "What the heck?" And we've had people saying, "I don't know whether I should call my boss right now and tell him I don't think I'm going to make this. I'm not sure I can do it." We had one guy wrote like a 3-page. Description of his whole experience for the first 3 days, and we were worried about him.
But again, so like it's for me, it's like that first time always is hard.
Yeah,
it's brutal.
Right.
Brutal.
And then I don't know if I'm atypical or typical. I'm guessing fairly typical in the aspect of where you can kind of sleep and learn. You're almost like absorbing everything, and then that day 2 is a lot easier. But how do you navigate the egos? I mean, pilots have egos regardless. So when you're in the cockpit with someone that's a very high time, very experienced pilot that thinks that they're Maverick, how do you navigate that? Because that's a nod, it was a Maslow's hierarchy, right? If their ego is feeling bruised, they're not going to be able to learn. So how do you navigate that in the cockpit? That's very complex.
Thank you to our sponsor, Precision Aviation Group. Mission-critical operators and fleet managers rely on Precision Aviation Group as a worldwide leading rotor and fixed-wing MRO provider. PAG provides tip-to-tail solutions in 4 MRO segments: avionics, components, engines, and manufacturing DER services. A single point of contact gives you access to over 150 million in inventory globally, 24/7. Just call 800-537-2778. Precision Aviation Group. Others sell parts. We sell support.
Well, before we say that, when I said ego, there is 2 different kinds. As far as when I mean the ego just won't allow in their own mind versus
silent ego.
Yeah, then we've had the attitude ego. Yeah. There's that part too.
Yeah, for sure. The good thing about it is that unlike a lot of other areas in the helicopter industry, you can't fake this.
Yeah,
you can't fake long line. That long line swinging out of control. Guess what? You don't have it right now, right? So that's the good part. And on day 1, we really cover like, hey, this is going to hurt. This is going to be uncomfortable. We've never seen anybody in the 30 plus years I've been doing it. I've never seen anybody that has come out the gate minute 1, hour 1, and nailed it. There's a process, and you got to follow it. And you got to experience it all to get to the next point in the instructions. So, first day we give them a good spiel about don't waste any time worrying about it. Complaining or whatever, or just keep pushing through. And it's just going to get repetition is what does it. You just got to continue on and build your cycles. And Kim's training comes into it a lot there. Like as far as you have nothing in your file. It's like every pattern we do, you add something else. It's just so overwhelming. There's so much you're looking at, and so much you're scanning, and all the rest of it. So it's pretty brutal.
It's a whole new style of flying.
Physical too, So you bend over, your neck's twisted.
I remember my neck was very uncomfortable doing that.
Exactly.
You got to build up the neck muscle.
Yeah. So we're doing 15-minute, 20-minute sessions out the gate. Put the line on for 30, 45. Just build it up to where you can hang out the door for an hour total or more than that, depending on the individual. And it's, usually 2 to 2.5 hours a day initially is what anybody can really take.
Which is still a lot.
Yes.
I mean, you can get pretty beat up in that spot.
Yep.
Yeah, very, very cool. Long lining to you, is it like second nature now? I mean, you've spent most of your life looking at a helicopter like that. I mean, do you know how to fly a helicopter not doing that?
Our chief pilot at Columbia used to laugh. We would come into an airport. He'd be waiting for us to do whatever. We'd come in, out the door, over the top of a runway, come down, and then taxi to Chinook. He goes, "You idiots!" That thing can actually roll on, right? Like it's hard not to.
Yeah, interesting. It's kind of just like second nature of where you're living in that time. Go ahead.
Sorry. The good thing about it too is you have to stay humble, because no matter how many hours you've got, it can eat your lunch at any given moment, right? It can get you in a second, just when you think you got it down. And it happens to all of us. It happens to me too.
Yeah,
you know?
you've had a bad day.
I come around the corner doing a demo with a 200-foot long line that I've been flying my whole life, and stick it straight in the trees in front of a bunch of students.
Yeah,
I'm like, there you go.
Oh, this guy.
Yeah. Like, I want my money back. So,
and a 200-foot, I mean, that's no joke. I mean, that's a long line.
Yeah, that's what most people, like logging and all that kind of stuff.
Really, it's 200 feet. I mean, that's very, right, because the longer the line, the harder it is, essentially, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
I think I got up to like 100 foot.
That's good.
It's
100
not
foot's good, yeah.
Well, it's good, but wasn't good.
Well, we start out with a 150-foot long line on day one.
Wow.
So it's the way we did it at Columbia, and the reason behind it is that there's some anxiety about putting on a longer line, right? There's been accidents over the years to where they were used to flying a short line, then they got into a position in the trees or out somewhere, into a confined area or whatever, and they start coming down with a short line because that's all they know how to fly, and then they're looking down going, well, can I actually fit in here? And they've tried to get in there instead of going back because they hadn't flown a longer line. Instead of going back and changing that out, they took the risk, right? So we put the 150 on there. That takes out all the anxiety of, tomorrow, we're going to put the big long line on, right?
It's just you pull the Band-Aid off.
Exactly. And
that's
then they
line.
do it day one.
Yeah.
And they're shooting a hook shot. And so we say, hey, and we don't even tell them what the length of the line is on day one. We just put it on. They just fly it because they know no better, right? They're like, wow, that's really long. And then they fly it.
They're like hovering. Keep going. It's still on the ground.
Yeah.
Oh, how am
exactly. So hook shots, loads, and then the next day we'll say, okay, that was a 150 yesterday. They're like, oh, wow, okay. And now, the 100, it's less.
Yeah.
Anything under that is less.
Yeah, so you're just going down from that point.
Yeah, exactly.
And are you, your Texas location, is it all in the Robinson?
Our course is, we've got a 66 and a 44 out there that we use for the course. People will bring their own ships out to us.
Cool.
So we'll train them on site. And then out at our Texas location, and again, we do on-site training, different countries, different companies. So.
What's your favorite helicopter to long line from?
Good question, man. I mean, I love flying the Chinook.
It'd be amazing.
It's just a beast. You just keep pulling that thing. And the
there's
size of the loads, all that kind of stuff. But 66 is awesome. We got a utility 66 now, and it's got the, I don't know if you've seen that utility one with the VR gauges and everything. So we got one of those out there. So
here.
Yeah, exactly.
That is
set
nice.
up with an armrest and with the mirrors and everything. I mean, it's set up as an external load ship.
That's awesome. Yeah,
it's an awesome ship. So we love that. We get, I haven't done commercial jobs since retiring from Columbia a couple of years ago. So we started doing commercial lift work with that.
Really cool.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's impressive. Yeah.
Yeah, I lift 1,200 pounds.
I'm sure David's thrilled to hear that.
Yeah.
He loves, it's fun to see, the Robinson work, right?
Yeah.
It's, they haven't really PR'd until the new team there, right?
Yeah.
So they're really trying to push that and show, hey, it's not just like a helicopter that you fly to your lake house, right?
Exactly.
I mean, it's a legitimate helicopter doing legitimate things.
Yeah, especially that one wasn't even really known out there.
So here's a question that came up the other day. I don't know if you guys saw. This was in Oregon, so it was kind of near and dear to me. But there's a whale that got beached on the Oregon coast. It's this big sad story. The thing was like crying, and all the community came together, and they're trying to push the whale. It lived for like 72 hours, and they finally had to euthanize it. And I'm thinking, why did they just get like a National Guard Chinook to come in? But the whale is 25 tons.
25 tons.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's beyond Chinook.
Yeah, it's like
50,000, 48,000, something like that. So yeah.
That's like half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's the
that
problem.
one's huge. Yep.
Poor whale.
Yeah.
It was a bummer. Yeah, and they tried. I mean, there was a lot of efforts, and it ended up. Yeah, it was wrapped in a crab pot.
Oh yeah.
And so it couldn't swim. So it drifted ashore. It's like a three-year-old female. 25 tons already.
That's pretty big.
Wow.
Yeah.
The girl he's eating. My gosh.
Yeah.
It's a big ass animal. But yeah, very sad. It's very interesting. It's vertical reference is just something that feels very foreign to me, right? So maybe at some point I can come down there and experience it. And maybe create some cool content around watching how horrible I am at it.
Everybody starts out the same, man. And that's
it's an even playing field, which is cool, right?
Yeah. And the thing with, I think what we talked about earlier with Volo is we maintain a serious standard, man. Like we're training people to go into the industry, not slinging tires just to give you a taste of what it's like. We do have some other courses, 10-hour course and a 5-hour course that people could come out.
Very cool.
And it's the beginning of the course.
Yeah.
So they can get to experience
the taste.
but form some good habits from minute one, right? So, but we maintain a very heavy standard on how it's to be done and call outs and, all the different things you're looking for, all the safety things. And it's pretty intense.
That's great. I mean, you want to create professionalism in the cockpit and all aspects, right? And it's one thing to go out there and be proficient. It's one thing to do it professionally. Right? Having the right mentality, understanding what the ground people are doing. Because you probably have to kind of start knowing, like, if you're a really good external load pilot, you kind of have to be knowing what the guy down there is doing, right?
That's exactly right.
And be able to kind of read his moves before he even knows he's going to do it.
Yeah. And we actually, every pilot that comes out on the course, they do ground as well. So when the other pilots, when they're resting, they'll take a bit of a rest and they'll get out with our ground instructor and they'll actually get down. It's the best perspective to see when that line's at an angle, it's going to go into that tree. And so it's really important.
What's the coolest thing that you've ever lifted at Columbia?
Probably howitzers and things like that.
Yeah,
the military are pretty cool.
What about ski lifts?
Yeah, I did a lot of ski lifts.
Yeah, I figured.
Yep, a lot of ski lifts.
What's the story behind that iconic Columbia helicopters photo?
Yeah.
Is that you?
That was a barge. No, that was well before my time.
Okay.
That was Dale Weir, the guy's name was. He was an incredible long line pilot. Yeah, pretty wild.
I heard it's kind of a perspective, right?
It is.
The photo is not really. But what was he doing? He was pulling a barge?
They were pulling a barge across the ice, and I think it was a 600-foot long line or something. So it actually looked a little optical illusion there, but I mean, awesome picture.
It's an epic photo. I mean, that's one of the most iconic helicopter photos.
For sure.
Well, very cool. Volo Mission. If our listeners are interested in learning more and considering doing a course, what is the best way for them to do that?
Email us, info@volomission.com.
Easy. We'll put it in the description as well. info@volomission.com. You got the power. I think when I was trying to find you guys at VAI, everyone was, the power couple. These two. So you guys are clearly doing something right. You have a wonderful reputation.
Thanks,
I think it's a really cool marriage of ideas, right? Putting your skills and your skills together to create a very unique, kind of one-of-a-kind course, right? Which is pretty cool. So appreciate what you guys are doing for the industry. Volo Mission, you guys check them out. Seriously, I mean, the reputation is awesome. I mean, it's like everywhere I go. I'm waiting for someone to say something bad.
No.
I'm kidding.
It's probably a bunch of pilots out there that got trained here that might have a few things to say on the backside.
I don't think so. Well, to our listeners, thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of the Helicopter Podcast. It's because you listen that I get to do this. Big shout out to the MHM team with Vertical HeliCASTS and the platform that allows us to come to Europe and do cool in-person podcasts like this. Kim, Andre, thank you guys so much for coming.
Thank you.
You.
Halsey.
Really
appreciate it, man.
it.
Cheers.